Hello, you guys. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. I hope everybody is either already had their lunch, enjoying their lunch, or on their way to get some lunch. I'm actually on my way to try to go find some coffee, which anybody who's watched me in the past know I really don't drink. I only drink if I am extremely exhausted or fatigued. So, and I am having that today. So I'm trying to find some coffee. Today I am working out in Chesapeake City. Um, so this is like Trump Town over in this area. It's one of the major areas is like Elkton, right? And it's Trump Town over in here. So everybody knows like Baltimore is a peculiar. Well, let me say this, not just necessarily Baltimore, Maryland. Hey Michelle, how are you? Maryland is a peculiar place because it is a blue state. However, we have a history since slavery that we were part slave, part free, right? State. And so that is what kind of like has this weirdness and peculiarity as you travel throughout the state because you have some states where it is very heavily Democratic and then other states where it is very conservative and Republican. And so the area I'm in today, that is like one of those areas. Um, and this is coming more towards the north, which is weird, right? Because that is the way that people had to travel through the Underground Railroad. And that's what made it dangerous because, like, as you got to more northern Maryland, it, it, it was a little more risky, right? It was a little more risky as you got more north to Maryland. The risk, it was a heightened risk there. But like I said, I'm in the northern, right today, I'm in the northern part of the state. And this is Trump City over here. And this is very conservative in this district and has been very conservative in this district. So I'm trying to decide. I came out and it's a wild one in here, but I really would prefer to have some Starbucks because that's how bad my fatigue is right now today. So I would prefer to have that. So I'm gonna probably try to see if I can find a Starbucks. But I wanted to come on and talk to you guys while I'm trying to get myself to wake up, right? Because I got some things I need to complete before I leave the area. So I gotta get myself up. So I decided I would come and talk to you guys while I'm out here trying to find me some coffee to keep me going for the rest of the day. So I watched an interview. Well, I don't know if it was an interview. I don't know if I should call it that, right? Um, but I watched a, I guess, a conversation um, where Angelo Clary was speaking, and a lot of people, it was a lot of it's a lot of controversy, a lot of conversation around that dialogue. However, there were some things I picked up on it, and I've been saying this for so I have been in the bushes like watching R. Kelly sector content for a very, 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 very long time. Probably, I would say since the beginning, since Surviving R. Kelly came out, I have been venturing out to find what other information is out on the net in order to get more details because initially we were not being released, more information was not being released by mainstream media. And so you had to find other outlets, and that's what brought me to YouTube. And so my main reason, I, I explained to people I was a fan of R. Kelly, right? I even once, the allegations that he had initially, and I was from childhood into adulthood, right? I'm like, more them people parents said it wasn't them, it wasn't them. Aaliyah mama said it didn't happen, it didn't happen. I was like one of those kind of people. Because like I said, I don't come from no family that would lie about no mess like that. At least when they come to me. I don't know, hopefully they won't lie or do nothing like that when they come. But when it come to me, they ain't lying about that. My grandmother will have you put out an APB on me, okay? Right? Hey, purple, purple, how are you? And she has done it, okay? So I ain't saying nothing that ain't true. So My grandmother had me in the news looking for me one time, child. So she don't. I mean, it's a different. But that's why I said, Tim. I understand, Tim. I understand it. Cause I listen. My grandmother was like, listen. I only had to be missing for a couple of hours somewhere, just being doing something I ain't had no business. And I am blessed too, Purple. Thank God we all are blessed and able to be here to talk to one another. Right? It's good to see you in here today. So I'm coming here. I'm gonna let you know. I'm trying to set the stage for what it is I'm about to talk about now. But what brings me to have this conversation today is an interview that I watched with Angelo Clary, right? That he did recently. And so I'm explaining, my background and how I arrived watching content in this R. Kelly sector, right? And so, like I said, I was the R. Kelly fan. I originally I was like, listen, them people parents said it ain't them. I don't come from no people who gonna do no mess like that. So why would these parents tell this lie? However, I do know people who parents are capable of that. But I don't come into a situation just automatically assuming that those is those kind of people. I give people the benefit of the doubt until I see something different, right? And so when Surviving R. Kelly hit, it's a reason why a couple of weeks ago I just posted a clip from that show on Netflix, Abducted in Plain Sight, right? Because when Surviving R. Kelly hit, I had just, like, maybe a few days before that, watched that documentary on Netflix. And that was some of the most insane ass shit I ever seen in my life. If you have not seen it, please go watch. It's called Abducted in Plain Sight. It is on Netflix, right? And I believe that it's still on there. But I had just watched that maybe a couple of days, or I don't think it was more than a week before Surviving R. Kelly hit. So we seeing all of these clips and everything from Surviving R. Kelly. My cousin is calling me like, you seeing this? Because my cousin just knew from rip. She automatically felt like he was guilty. And this is like my best cousin, my friend. This is my best friend cousin, right? I'm talking about we best friends. She's older than me by 4 years. She has been my best friend since I have come out the womb. Me and her maybe have had 2 arguments. We might have disagreements, but we have never, from the moment I was born to now, had no period where we don't conversate. So that's my road dog. Everything we do it together, right? And so even though she believed that R. Kelly did all of this stuff and all of this stuff, she was my ride or die. She went with me to every concert, right? She would ride with me. So when these clips started releasing on Lifetime, my cousin calls me immediately. She's like, "Are you seeing this?" Right? So I'm like, right? That's my answer. So, like I said, and I'm setting the stage to let y'all know, like, this letdown that I got, right? Because I watched Abducted in Plain Sight, and anybody who watched it, you know what I'm talking about. It was some of the most crazy, weird shit you done ever seen in your life on that documentary, right? And so I watched that a few days later to a week, maybe a few days to a week later. Here comes Surviving R. Kelly. So I sit down, I got everything ready. I'm on my Facebook friend group with, friends of mine that from all over, but a lot from Baltimore, right? And so we on Facebook, you know how you used to. Now, I'm not on Facebook at all really now. Like every now and then I might post something. And I will scroll on my timeline just to like keep up or see if somebody's doing something I like or whatever. But back at that time, we were posting on Facebook. We would be in watch groups, watching different things. So I'm in my Facebook watch group. Me and my cousin is on the phone, right? And so Surviving R. Kelly comes on. And those first 2, if I'm not mistaken, and if I'm wrong, somebody correct me. Those first 2 episodes hit me, right? Because it was at that moment, it wasn't that I believed everything that everybody on there was saying, because it was some stuff I was skeptical about. It was some things I had questions about. It was some things that I'm looking at like, these people like, you can't tell me that you ain't see this before. Can't tell me you didn't know. You can't tell me you didn't know something was up, right? Like, why you saying something now, right? That's your first thought. So some of the people were skeptical. I was skeptical of them. But I was listening. And as I'm listening, it's making more sense that what these people are saying is the truth. For whatever reason that they kept quiet about it, maybe they was worried about whether they was going to be incriminated as well, different reasons, but these people now are hesitantly telling the truth, right? Some of them, like I said, the stories was like, a little shaky. I seen that, but I'm these first few people speaking, I'm like, okay, it's a lot of truth in what they're saying. I'm now I cannot deny this anymore. And so then we get the episode, and if I'm not mistaken, I think it was on the third episode where Alice and Angelo Clary are introduced into the equation, right? Because I think prior to that, maybe Dominique was like that whole thing played out. If I'm not, I can't remember all the order, but I think that whole thing with Dominique played out. And I think for me, the story with Dominique was one of the most sickening ones. And I'll tell you why in a minute. But that was one of the most sickening ones to me. And she is one of the most interesting to me out of them. And how she's handled this is very interesting to me. And it's something that I paid close attention to. And it's the reason why I believe Dominique is a large reason why I believe that a lot of what they accused him of, that he did it, right? That he did it. She is one of the main reasons that convinced me in that series, like that if I had questions about all other people, this is why I think now he's capable and did what they said he was doing, right? And so, I was watching it, and then the next thing you know, Angelo and Alice Clary pop on the screen and start telling their story. And I'm sitting there listening to the story. Me and my cousin, we listening to the story. Me and my Facebook watch group, we watching and listening to the story. And immediately, we knew it was something that smelled like shit on this story. We knew it. It's something that smelled like shit on this story, right? It just didn't sound right. And so when Surviving R. Kelly was over, I needed to understand more about Azriel's story as it pertained to her parents, right? And so then after that, we get an R. Kelly interview. The R. Kelly interview reveals to us with the girls, there's an allegation thrown out of Azriel being sold to him. He puts it out there, right? Azriel is talking, and she is explaining that her parents tried to sell her like she was a hoe, and she put emphasis on that hoe, like that came from her gut, like that's how she felt, like that's what they did to her, right? And so I started to pay attention to this, right? While everybody else was saying this was performative and all of these other things, and not wanting to believe this part of the equation. Number one, I immediately thought, like, how incriminating. What an incriminating thing to say, right? And in the back of my mind, I'm like, surely, who let him come up here and do this interview? But I'm like, maybe he made a mistake saying that, right? Maybe he didn't mean to say that, right? And I'm still trying to get a benefit of the doubt, even in this situation where now I'm coming to a conclusion that he's guilty of some of these things that he's being accused of, right? I'm still trying to say, okay, maybe he made a mistake saying that, because surely people know that it's not legal to sell humans. And why would you come on a national news station saying that you bought a human being from her parents? Like, in a country where this is not lawful, right? So I was trying to reconcile this some kind of way, right? So then Angelo and Alice Clary come on, and they do. I can't remember. I think they did it first, because I know that Angelo then did another interview with him and Michael Avenatti sitting side by side. But I think the initial interview after the Gayle King interview where this accusation is made, you have Angelo and Alice Clary come on, and they are denying that they did this, right? This is made up. They are talking about how R. Kelly has made these girls just do text messages, write letters, confess all of these different things so that he can use it against them and their parents in the event that something were to come up, right? This is the allegations that are made at the time that Alice is sitting down and Angelo is sitting down with Gayle King. And then Michael Avenatti comes on the screen and he presents us with a permission slip from that's signed by Alice Clary. And that permission slip was supposed to be a document that was supposed to substantiate that Azriel was sent to stay with Diana Copeland for purposes from what we are told, because the permission slip doesn't say that. Now, when they originally said it was a permission slip, I think in the documentary, I think they said they signed a permission slip. I thought it was something much more sophisticated than what we ended up seeing. What we ended up seeing was a piece of shit, right? I mean, I don't even want to call it a document, right? I don't want to call it a memo. Not. It was just like something that you write into, like when your child was sick at school or something. That's what it looked like, right? But this is the document that Alice and Angelo, by means of their attorney, Michael Avenatti, present to the public to substantiate that they were under the impression that their daughter was going to be under the care of Diana Copeland for the purposes of doing music, right? This is that moment when the public gets this letter stating that she has permission. And the permission supposedly was supposed to be to do music, right? This is when we see this. And so, like I said, I think there was another interview where Michael Avenatti comes out. Hey, Just V, you said, I'm just stopping to say hi. I'm tired of talking about R. Kelly. No one else outside of the sector is still debating R. Kelly. He abused me. Well, I think there are some people talking about it, but I think they're talking about it in a different way. But I'm speaking about it specifically because Angelo did an interview. And it's something else I want to talk about, but I'm just saying how I arrived here, right? So it's fine that, yeah, if you want to go somewhere else, but that's why I'm coming to talk about it, because it's something that happened in an interview that Angelo Curry just did, something that he admitted in the interview, is something I want to bring like attention to all of these allegations and these people who believe him and hype him up out here, right? Yeah, he did it. I don't want to say it was an interview, a call-in, a conversation he had, on his friend's channel, right? So that's why I'm doing this. I'm just saying how I got here, so I can say how long I've been looking at this, and then to talk about something else. Yes, Just be. Yep, that's all. So, so I end up then venturing out into the internet to see like what else can I find out about this situation, specifically as it pertains to Azriel. So I started to watch and come up and was watching all of the interviews that Angelo Clary was giving, right? Because you ain't never see Alice coming out too much after that. All you saw was Angelo. So I'm listening to everywhere he's going doing these interviews. And every interview he's doing, I'm hearing something different. It's different contradictions. Nothing never sound the same. The stuff is all over the place, right? And it's like I said, it's just consistent with what I already thought. Like something don't smell right about this, right? And so then I'm going to speed up to when the text messages start coming out. Some more people start coming to speak up. And then the lady, Sean. I don't know if you still hear Just V, but the lady, Sean, who worked with Team Truth, with him on Team Truth, I guess that was supposed to be the business side of the movement, and he confirmed this just on his interview that he just did, that was the business side. He confirmed that Larry McGee did not have anything to do with the business side. He's confirming that. Sean confirmed that as well in an interview that she did on Miss Love's channel, right? So it made me think back to that interview, because in the conversation, no, Sean interviewed a long time ago. I'm gonna tell you why she's being brought back up. Or was he just yes, he mentioned her. And this is why I'm bringing this up, because this is what I'm coming to talk about. So that's, if you want to stay, stay. If not, I understand, because it does get tiring. I think for me, because I try to be objective, right? Even if it's the situation that I'm involved and it's with me, I try to be objective, right? So I'm trying to look at this in an objective way, right? Yes, he played it today. Larry played a conversation with Sean today. But there is an interview that I posted on my community wall, for those who don't remember it or never saw it, where Sean did an interview with Atmos on his channel. I believe it was back in 2023. So in Angelo Clary's most recent conversation with the blogger, he mentions that the only person, this is what he said in it, and this triggered me, right? He said, the only person that I feel like I owe something to is Sean. Because that lady, this is what he says, she came to this with good intentions. She came to this thinking that we was really going to do some good work. And I got to make it right. This what he said. And I got to make it right. He said part of the way. Yeah, don't put your feet all the way back in, just a little bit, right? But he's saying, I got to make it right. So as I'm listening to him say that, right, I'm recalling the things that I heard this woman say when she interviewed with Atmos, right? And I'm like, this lady said some very damaging, fucked up shit, right, about this nigga in that interview, right? The last person, if I remember, Atmos got, and if I'm wrong, Atmos, if you hear this, confirm, you can correct me. But I remember Atmos got sent a cease and desist. I think him and Tears both were sent a cease and desist from that interview that Atmos did with Sean. Sean said some crazy stuff. Yes, Just Be, yes. And she made some crazy allegations in that interview. And when I heard him on the blogger's channel say that he needs to make it right with her, I immediately was like, this is a case of just get off the internet and don't say anything else. Because if I was him, based off of the things that lady alleged and then the steps he took to try to silence her afterwards and silence anybody who was trying to talk to her or let her tell her story, let her say what she needed to say, I wouldn't, even if the things she said that were true, I would never come out and make a public proclamation that I need to make it right with her, because she said some really damaging, fucked up shit that he either told her, that she witnessed, that he did. Like, it was crazy. So when I heard him say that, immediately, I already knew, but immediately I was like, this motherfucker is everything I thought the fuck he was. Everything I thought he was from the fucking beginning. Everything. In Baltimore, we call it a cruddy ass nigga. I was like, this is a cruddy ass fucking nigga, right? and immediately in my mind, right? Because she made a lot of allegations. Now, in my thumbnail is a picture of a historical church here in Baltimore by the name of Mount Olivet Free Will Baptist Church, right? And Mount Olivet was hit by lightning, struck by lightning. I was about to say hit by a thunderbolt. Struck by lightning, right? It was a church that was struck by lightning in a court fire, right? So the steeple, it had a steel steeple. You said he's never denied the things she said. He won't even address them. He tried to backdoor it by sending the cease and desist and trying to imply or infer that the things that were being said about him were not true. And the lady, Sean, said that he was trying to do things in the background, sending other people to attack with what she was saying, right? This is what Sean was saying, right? She said this in the interviews. You said I was cool with Miss Neesbeck around COVID. She used to tell me that Angelo was pretty much dissing Larry back then, and I would tell her that Angelo was playing both sides because on live he was yeah. So, and I think he just had her fooled with a lot of shit. But this a cruddy ass nigga. Cause like I said, it ain't no way that anybody with a little bit of shame, like if you had a little bit of shame, you would not come out in the public and say you need to make something right with somebody who made the allegations that she made and the things that she said that you discussed and told her and talked about with her and took from her. Like, you wouldn't come out in the public. You would just, in the behind the scenes, you would just make it right. You wouldn't come out to the public after knowing all the things that you did to try to stop this lady from talking, right? All the intimidation tactics that you implemented to try to stop this lady from talking about what happened, right? So, anyway, the picture on my thumbnail is a picture of a church called Mount Olivet Free Will Baptist Church. The pastor of that church is Bishop Oscar Brown, right? He is now, I think it might not be Free Will anymore. It might be Full Gospel Baptist Church now, right? Because he moved over to Full Gospel. But the church had a steeple on it. It was like a steel steeple. Hey, One Pep, how you doing, boo? It's a steel steeple, and it was struck by lightning, and it caught fire, right? It's the reason I'm saying this, okay? So y'all just bear with me. Just listen, okay? So everybody knows my family, we is in the church. My family church got caught on fire. Well, we don't know what happened. We kind of think it was like an electrical fire, right? Thank God my grandfather wasn't in the church the day that it happened. My aunt wasn't there because they lived at that church, okay? My aunt still lived there to this day. My grandfather has gone on to be with the Lord. Thank God. I'm doing great, Pam. I'm doing great. Just a little bit tired and trying to get myself to wake up. So I decided to come on and talk to you guys about this. But I'm doing good. Thanks for asking me. So my family, my childhood church got caught on fire. Now, I grew up in two churches because I come from two family churches, right? So I grew up at my grandfather's church, where he was the pastor, right? Now, then my grandmother went on to become the pastor. Now my aunt is the pastor. My grandmother is still living, but my grandmother, after a couple of years, was like, yeah, I hadn't had enough of this. And so now my aunt is the pastor. And then my the other church that I grew up in was New Psalmist Baptist Church, where the Bishop Walter Scott Thomas is the pastor. And I have a family connection there because two of his sons in the ministry are my cousins. They come from out of that church. And that's Guy Robinson, who's another pastor out here in Baltimore, of Jones Tabernacle Baptist, another historical church. And then the other church is the other pastor is Dr. William Curtis, Billy, right? So I come out of that. So I was baptized at that church, at New Psalmist, not where the new one is at. Anybody who's familiar with New Psalmist, because Dr. Thomas is pretty famous. So, and at the new church, back when the old church, when we was on Franklin Cathedral, he took me to the water. Dr. Thomas baptized me, okay, in the water, right? So down in the basement of that church. So, I have two family churches, but one of my grandfather's church caught fire, and from what they did after, it was an electrical fire, right? And like I said, and thank God that my grandfather wasn't in there. Thank God my aunt wasn't in there that day. And then one of our deacons, Deacon McCray Zolikoff. I'm saying these names for a reason, y'all. Okay, just I'm saying it for a reason. Deacon McCray Zolikoff, who was the leader of a Christian quartet called the Christianaires, right? Famous quartet, right? Here in Baltimore. So the three of them, one of them was always at the church, right? And thank God the day that the church caught fire, none of them was there, because they would have met their end that day or been very seriously hurt. And so thank God none of them were there. But I'm saying this to say this. There was an allegation made by Sean in the Atmos Love interview that Angelo Clary told Sean that he set a church on fire. He told her that he set a church on fire. And I remember when she said it, my jaw like just dropped immediately, because I'm like, who the fuck would tell somebody that? Like, even if you did it, why would you tell someone that? And if you didn't do it, why would you tell somebody that? And what is wrong with you to make up some shit like that? Like, either way you look at it, why would you tell that to someone? And so, like I said, there was so many different things that was like playing in my mind when he said to her, when he said on the current interview that he needed to make stuff right with her. But that allegation right there was the one that stuck out for me, because I'm so closely connected to the church. I have people, I mean, anybody who knows, church is a business. People's family members are in there all days of the week. They not just there Sunday. It is business and all types of stuff running out of there. My grandfather would be down there for noonday prayer, Wednesday Bible study. It was something going on every single day. Like, nigga, you set a church on fire, and did you, for what reason? Did you set, was it a scam? Was you helping a pastor out here? If so, I want to know, what church was it? Who was it? Because since you told her that, you might as well tell the rest, because I would not dare admit to no type of shit like that. And this the thing, he admits to the shit after 9/11. This nigga is a fucking Muslim. That is an act of fucking terror. What the fuck? I would never even out my lips. And you ain't get, it's one thing maybe if you had got caught, went to jail, and then you went outside of that, I would never divulge that type of information to nobody that I did no shit like that. Like, and when he said that he needed to make stuff right with her, I thought about that lady saying that, and I'm like, this nigga is validating when he is coming on here saying he need to make her, he's validating everything that lady said about him. Every fucking thing. He needs to make it right and pay that lady her coin back. And he said, he didn't say it like that, but just go listen to it, Just B. Basically, that's what he said. And I'm like, okay, so if she was telling the truth about all the money and all of the things, and you feel like you need to make something right with her, because this my thinking, right? That's how I feel. Say that was me, right? And I did take the lady money. You know, I did get some money off the lady, right? But then I listened to that interview, and I heard that lady telling all them damn lies about me. Now, knowing me, I would try to maybe try to get a little bit of some money back, but I would not never dare speak, say, look in the direction, nothing with that lady again ever in life, right? Never in life. But to come on a public platform and think that the people the listening audience is stupid enough to hear you say that you need to make stuff right with that lady, knowing the things that lady said about you and the stuff that you divulged and told her and that she witnessed and that you took from her, I would not come to no platform to validate anything about. I would just try to make it right behind the scenes. Whatever the case, I would not come to know. But this nigga think we is so fucking stupid out here that we are not going to recall the stuff that this lady said. And when this nigga said that he fucking set a church on fire, I got questions. I want to know, for what? Was you part of some scam that one of these fucking crooked ass pastors out here in Baltimore had you? Was it about insurance money? Because you definitely, according to what this lady said, how you swindle her? Shit, they got the Tinder swindler, this the fucking YouTube swindler, right? The way you swindle her up out of $1 and her son's college fund, right? God only knows. Was you in on, like, maybe I won't look at it so bad. I'ma still look at it bad, Yeah, exactly. Listen, just be the lady said she was trying to call the FBI on his ass. She said the lady said she was trying to call the FBI on his ass. And she said every time she got somebody on the phone, when she would get the local people, she said they would take the thing, and then somebody call her back, and then as soon as they found out who he was, they hang up the damn phone. Right? That's what the lady said. She said that on Amy's interview, and I believe she said it again this morning when I was listening to the one Larry was playing. But this is what that lady said. She said she tried to call already on him. You said burn up church and stuff like that. Exactly. Like I said, I know. Listen, just be. I ain't gonna act like I don't know some crooked ass fucking pastors out here. Okay. I can name every pastor from the east to the west side of Baltimore, all the way from Maryland to California. That's how many pastors I know. That's how many people I'm connected to. That's how many churches I'm connected to, right? I know some crooked ass people, and I know some crooked ass pastors who will get somebody on board. That's like we need and now wait a minute. It's the reason I posted that church, the one on my thumbnail, because the church on my thumbnail led to some public scrutiny of a lot of pastors in this area after that steeple, after the lightning bolt hit that church and set it on fire. So after that church got set on fire, there was some financial records that were revealed about that church, right? And it showed that when that church, the pastor, who was the pastor church, I am not telling no lie. People can go look this up. I am not telling no lies. The pastor of that church was paid for when he became the pastor. He was not the founding pastor. He was voted in. Just be shut up. You said a 1-800 call FBI. Somebody needs to travel down. Right. So listen. So that pastor, several pastors in the area, in the Baltimore metropolitan area, under scrutiny, financial scrutiny, because the church was paid for in full when he inherited that church. Child, hey Tiz, boo, hey girl. That pastor went under scrutiny because he had taken out a double mortgage on that church by the time it was done. That church bought a house in his name. Now, anybody that know the rules and the politics and the business of pastoring, the church is supposed to, hey, Tabo, the church is supposed to stay in the parsonage, which is the place where the pastor lives. It's supposed to stay in the name of the church. Now, after a person has been pastoring for a certain amount of time, sometimes, they'll go ahead and gift them somewhere to live. But essentially, the parsonage is supposed to stay in the church. In the name of the church. Well, that church, the one I'm showing you, this on my picture on my thing, I ain't telling no lie. Like I said, you can look it up. That church, the house was in the name of the pastor. The parsonage was in the name of the pastor, which means the pastor roll out from the church. That pastor, that's his house, and then the church is responsible for getting the house for the next pastor coming in. But the car, and now this is where I might be confusing the vehicles, right? Because I cannot remember if it was Jamal Bryant, because Jamal Bryant was one of the pastors who came under scrutiny with Empowerment Temple at the time that this did. They started looking at financial records of these pastors because the church was in a double mortgage, behind on payments. The water bill was up over, I don't even know how much. It was a lot of money. I know that it was at least in the thousands that the water bill was over in the church, right? All of this money, hey, TSW, hey, girl, the church, it was a whole bunch of money, right, that the church was in debt. But you're looking at this house that the pastor is living in. You're looking at this car that the pastor is driving. And the car was in the name of the church. Now, that was backwards. The car, a pastor's car, is supposed to be in the pastor's name, not the name of the church, right? But the house is supposed to stay in the church name. Well, in this way, it was the reverse. And that it's all for certain reasons. It's all for certain reasons. But the reason that this was being looked at is because, and newspapers, local newspapers and stuff were reporting on this, is because of the church burning. And that's how they found out how much in debt the church was. When that pastor got that church was debt free. And so my thinking is, because like I said, I got questions. Did you burn this church to help some pastor out who had done some nefarious things financially and was trying to get an insurance reimbursement payout to clear those things out before the church found out, before all of the people found out? I don't know. Or was you what was the intention behind this burning? I need to know. I got questions. Like, it immediately when he endorsed Sean and basically confirming that everything that she was saying in them interviews was true. Because why would you publicly come say that you need to correct things with someone who made these type of allegations with you? I might need to correct it. And guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to correct that shit fast, quick, fast, in a hurry, so that I can try to move on, because I'm going to be looking like this bitch crazy telling all of these damn lies on me. But all of these years later, you still have not corrected what you were saying you need to correct. And this lady said some of the worst shit that you could say about a person. That this man set a church on fire. Child, when she relayed, I never forget that moment when she said that, because my jaw dropped. And like I said, it was memorable to me because my family's church did get caught up in electrical fire before. So that's dead to me about churches catching fire. You know, you think about, she related it and paralleled it to the 4 little girls. And that is the truth. Like, setting churches on fire is an act of terrorism. Like, this shit is crazy. And you're going to tell, and then she says that he told me all of this because he wanted me to write his memoir. That's some shit you need to leave out of your fucking memoir. That's some shit you don't never repeat to nobody unless you got caught and already did time for it. If you got caught and you already did time for it and you already dealt with the penalty, that's one thing. Hey, Tom, and that's one thing. But your ass, I mean, after that, I had to search. When she first said it, I had to search it up to see, did he go to jail behind this? You know, at some point or something. Why would he tell that now he gets her answer? Exactly. I'm like, what the fuck is this shit? Like, I got questions. That lady said you blew up a church. That's what she said. I need to know, under what pretense did you, no matter what, it still is bad. No matter what, it's bad. It's a crime. It's something that just, I don't know. I wouldn't want on my record. Even if I did it, I wouldn't want to tell nobody. But, right, the 16th Street Baptist Church, and that on the interview, she says that, Michelle, she is like, she said when he told her that, she thought about the 4 little girls that, and I'm like, yo, this is a cruddy ass fucking nigga. Who does some shit like that and then tell somebody and says it because they wanted to be in their memoir? I don't want no shit like that in my motherfucker. Listen, I am open book. I will tell people a whole lot of shit about me. It's things that I'm not ashamed of, whatever. I've done things I'm not proud of, whatever. Blowing up no church, setting no church on fire ain't nothing. I don't even, like I said, I am in the religion, the spirituality, the business of church. I am engulfed into this all around me. I'm enthralled in it. I am aware of people who have tried similar schemes. That is some shit they would never get me to be a part of. And I bet not never find out that no motherfucker I know or this close to me or even came out my vagina did no shit like that, because I am taking you straight to the fucking police. Yes, I am. I am taking you straight to the goddamn police. I don't care if it came out my vagina. I am not going to be knowing that somebody went and blew up a church that came out my vagina, and you think I'm going to sit and not say, oh, hell no. Hell to the no. No, it ain't gonna be me. Now, people can call me whatever the fuck they want. They can say whatever the fuck they want to say. If my child come to me and tell me they blew up a damn church, I'm gonna pray with them. I'm gonna ask God to forgive them, and then we going right down to them people's office. I'm serious. I am not joking. I am dead serious. I don't care what the reason is for. Now, if you did it because a pastor was trying to get out of, I still think that shit wrong. But I might not think it's as bad than if it was for under some other purpose that you did that shit. But regardless, you're going to the authorities. Either way, don't come tell me that shit. Do not come tell me you blew up no goddamn church. And that lady got on this internet. Exactly, Tish. You cannot. I don't condone my own bad behavior. I'm going, if I know I'm wrong, I'm going to own it. I'm gonna own it, and I'm wrong, and I shouldn't have did it. You know what I'm saying? And I got a lot of things that I regret, that I don't whatever. But blowing up no fucking church ain't one. That ain't one. I don't understand. I would never speak that lady name if that lady came out here and said that I set a church on fire. I would never speak her name again, ever in life. Even if I felt like I did her wrong by taking her money, swindling her out of her money and her child college fund, I would try to make it right. But after I made that right, I tell that bitch, don't you ever call me again. Ever. Lying and saying some shit like that. Number one, he is a self-proclaimed Muslim. Now, I'm saying self-proclaimed, right? He is a self-proclaimed Muslim. This is a Christian church. And you are saying this shit, and this is going on the airways in Trump America. Are you fucking crazy? I would never speak that lady name again. And for you to go on a platform and say you're going to do everything in your power to make it right with this, that means the way he said that shit with his gut. He's serious about that shit. He know he did that lady fucked up and wrong. Now, I don't know if I believe that he gonna make it right. I don't know if I believe that. But I do, but that let me know that he at least feel bad about something. We can't even get him to admit what he did to his daughter. But he jumped on here saying that he felt bad what he did to that lady. Now, that we can get him to, like, I would never say that lady said, you said didn't have another to take her money. Right. Like, it is no way that nobody could big up this nigga to me. There is no way nobody can big up this nigga to me. From the moment I seen him appear on Survivor R. Kelly, I knew that was a shady ass motherfucking nigga. And now, when after that interview, I'm like, this is a crudball ass nigga. Who in the hell does that and then lives to tell that to someone and say, I wanted to go into my memoir? That's a person that ain't afraid of the FBI trying to come find them. Why would you want that in your memoir, even if you wasn't a Muslim? But you are a Muslim saying that you set a Christian, Baptist, Pentecostal, Kojic, a Methodist, Apostolic, Episcopalian. I don't know what kind of church it was, whatever kind of church it was. I don't care if it was a mosque, a synagogue. I don't care what it was. I'm not setting none of that on fire. If anybody I know around me, near me, dear to me, don't tell me. If you did that, don't tell me that shit. If I hear you about to say some shit like that, I'm stop right now. You might not want to do that. You might not want to do that. But that lady said she tried to call all manners of law enforcement on this nigga, and they was taking all of the information down until they found out that he was Angelo Clary from Kissing Me. And then that's when she said, I think she said a couple of them hung their phone up. You said everyone doesn't need a memoir. First, no one cares. Second, please prefer to keep it. Exactly, Justine. I'm like, what in the hell? Like, the only person who is going to willfully stand up, who ain't already been caught for doing this shit, to say that they set a church on fire, is somebody who ain't scared of going to jail. That's the only person that's going to admit to that. If you know that you are not going to go to jail for it, then maybe you might say it. I ain't never going to, no ma'am. See, Justine, now you see why I had to come live. See, I know we all exhausted. We all are exhausted from this. I think about it in the manner, in the way I'm doing now. We are all exhausted from the R. Kelly drama and the R. Kelly bullshit. We are all exhausted from all of the crazy ass fucking just nonsensical allegations that come up out of this. We are all tired of the characters that are in this story. But it's like every time we turn around, it is the story that keeps giving. It never fucking stops. It never fucking stops. And then these motherfuckers come on here thinking they doing something. They done did that big one. And all you doing is still making it more obvious how much of a scumball you are. Like to the people with good sense, it's making us know how much, like, when you sent that cease and desist to admins, when you told that lady, like, sent people after that lady and on the scenes and behind the scenes to try to silence her, all along she was telling the truth. Just like all along R. Kelly was telling the truth in that interview when he said he bought your child. Sir, Larry didn't have to say you bought your child because R. Kelly and your child said it. And so do the fucking text messages. And now we understand the type of dude that'll sell their child is the same type of motherfucking nigga that'll set a fucking church on fire. Now it makes fucking sense. I need to know, did you set the bitch on fire before you had kids or after you had? What? Now, since you want us to know, and you wanted it to be written in a book, we need all of the details. Don't leave us hanging. Tell us the rest. Because obviously he's not scared nothing's going to happen to him as a result of him doing it. And hell, I ain't say this. Sean said it. And Sean is the person that you publicly come and proclaim that you need to make shit right with. Out of all people, I would have never spoke that lady name. I don't care how many thousands I took from her. I would have never spoke her name if she got on here and lied on me like that. But she did. So what does that imply? And that's my whole point. When somebody think they coming to do their big one, showing something, revealing something, you are putting your foot in your fucking mouth. You stuck your foot right in your fucking mouth. This is the most insane shit I done ever seen in my goddamn life, y'all. And I gotta get back to work and do what I need to do. So I love y'all. Thank all of y'all for coming in here and talking with me today. I will talk to y'all again soon. Have a wonderful, lovely, prosperous day. Peace.